Yo, good YouTube, welcome back to another video. And low-key, I wasn't gonna make a video about this thing, but as you can see, the main focus is Kurumi. And did she get nerfed? Well, I guess you could say that. So pretty much, as you guys do know, I did make a video before saying Kurumi is the best support in the game. The reason for that is because she had one important factor to her, which is boss repulse. But recently, upon this update, they classified that as a bug, so she was not originally yo, I'm speaking gibberish, but she wasn't meant to repulse bosses, so they tweaked it and now she only repulses enemies, which is a big change, and it definitely does like negate her value a lot, because boss repulse is like one of the biggest things a unit can have. It's the main thing that I was advocating for, because as you guys do know, boss repulse, like repulse in general, yeah, it just adds so much value to stalling, because it allows you to pretty much just like get so much extra time, because you can stall the boss, keep them in place, keep doing that on a constant cycle, especially on enemies who are like pretty slow. You can pretty much hit infinite stall them, and now you can't really do that with Kurumi because she don't have boss repulse anymore. So I'm bringing three support units in, and we'll be seeing how well they can slow this boss with 1x speed, and we'll see how long it takes here, like from point A to point B, how long it takes for the boss to get there. And yeah, let me show you the conversation from these two individuals. This is the reason why I made it. So I looked in the question channel, and I just saw a few people arguing, or not really a few, but two people arguing. So it was saying, I've tested it on a regular enemy, not even on a boss. Kurumi and her clone stall less than an Alucard. On a boss, it's far, far worse, since she can't repulse bosses. That is true. She can't repulse boss anymore. Then we go down a bit. Other than Omni Tower 400, what stage is that hard where her speed increase compromises the match? So he's basically saying that the person here is trying to say that because the clones can increase the speed of enemies, it kind of negates her, like, her value in a bit, because pretty much you're going to be increasing their speed of the enemies. So, having overall just constant slow via Alucard is just more effective. And then you go down here. Where is it? I am. And then he's saying, and she doesn't even apply a debuff. Why not just use Alucard? Again, her repulse doesn't even work on bosses. What I'm getting at, why do you guys think Kurumi is even meta good support? Basically trying to say that Kurumi is just ass and a fraud. And then this person says, I mean, Kurumi is still top 1 for support. She can stall for a long time as well. And then what did this person say? And I just told you, Alucard stalls normal enemies longer in my personal test, and she even stalls even less on bosses, since she can't repulse them, and she doesn't even apply a debuff, unlike Alucard, who does a 35% amp. I need a valid explanation, since everything I've seen says otherwise. And then this person linked my video, which is probably the worst thing they can link, because this was before when she could stall bosses, and now she can't. So yeah, now repulse bosses, I meant. And look, man, I trust the Taylor's guy way more than you. I also trust EXO more than you. This footage explain it. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm making this video. So yeah, let's just get into the sandbox, and I'll showcase to you how well each of these three units. I really bring Dio just for the fun of it, because as you guys do know, before Kurumi we had Dio. So let's just get into this. Okay, so what I'm going to be showcasing to you guys is how long it takes them to reach from point A to point B. A regular enemy, but I mean mainly a boss, because that's what I want to test on. So from point A to point B, we'll see how long it takes. And if you guys can see on the wiki, the optimal build for Kurumi is blitz trait, a lot of visits with speed boost. So I can have it set up here. I'm gonna use a blitz 15% SPA Kurumi with a speed boost and a lot of visits. I had to put -5 SPA because that's how to actually make it the same, because sandbox familiar is always buggy. So use it, put it here, and you can see her final SPA after, of course, 20% will be 5.1 SPA, which is very nice. So it makes it, of course, you can utilize that well. We are not going to be using the clones, because as you guys do know, the clones pick from any of these three, meaning the clones can increase the enemy speed. So we'll just be using baseline Kurumi. We'll put the slow, because you can see it slows enemies for 30 seconds, so you just slow. After that, you can legit time stop. After that, you can even confuse. You can do a lot of things, so we'll be using the SPA first, then the slow, and of course, then the confuse, and into the time stop. And of course, doing all the stuff usually, so we'll also get her own times up here. So yeah, let's just get into it. So first will be Kurumi, and then after we can test someone else. So I'll do from here to there. So let's put her on this one, and a regular boss. So let's spawn it right here. Okay, so I made sure to give Kurumi here less or minus 20% SPA from her ability right here. So she has that, and then I made sure to switch her to slow, and we're utilizing the slow instantly, and you can see the boss gets slowed instantly. And since the SPA is 5.1 seconds, pretty much like her uptime won't be of course perfect, but there'll be a time where like the boss is not slowed at all. But yeah, it's just very like it's very minimum, you know what I mean? But yeah, you can see we utilized the confusion right there. And confusion is very nice. It's like a watered down repulse. Well, it's similar to repulse of course, but yeah, not many units can do it. I'm pretty sure the only 3 units is Kurumi, and her one is only 1 time on the same enemy. You got Aizen, of course, by losing 2 stocks, or he loses 1 stock, he does it, loses another stock, then he does it again. And then, what's the name? Diavolo has it, but his one's an ability, so there's not really a consistent unit who can do it. Kurumi is quite consistent, but it's of course only 1 time. But it's the easiest way of doing it. But yeah, pretty much what we're going to be utilizing is the time stop, using the ability where she attacks herself, and of course the slow. Cycling through these 3 we can get like a pretty good time stops off, and of course slows. But yeah, she's able to slow the boss like pretty well. It's nothing crazy, but like it's still very good. Like previously it was like a lot better than this, because you have to factor in that boss repulse is adding so much extra time. Like the boss will be halfway where he is right now if he had boss repulse. But yeah, I'll shortly put on screen how long the boss was stalled for by this Kurumi alone. And it's pretty decent, you know. From the point that I did pick to that little corner on the top right, it was roughly like 2 minutes and 8 seconds, as you can see, which is pretty decent, you know. And the next unit we're going to show after this is Alucard. And you have to factor in that Kurumi is a cone AoE, so she's not really good at stalling like a large majority of mobs. She's very good for, of course, a boss, like a singular enemy. But for a large majority of mobs, you're going to be using Alucard, because as you can see, Alucard is full AoE. Plus, he's also having that 35% damage jump, which is very nice to have. So yeah, Alucard's utility is still very good. And in this scenario, I use his ability to lower his SPA. And since his slow is 5 seconds, but since it is based on attacking a bleeding enemy, this enemy should always have bleed. As you can see, the bleed icon should not really disappear at all. But one thing that does happen is there are times where the slow downtime is quite like obvious. You can see right there, it's like 2 to 3 seconds where we just did not have slow. Even here, you'll see at this part, there's a long gap here between the slow icon being applied again. So you can see that's like 3 to 4 seconds yet again, which is quite annoying. But having that in a full AoE is pretty nice, you know. Just a full AoE slow is very nice. But yeah, Alucard's a lot simpler than of Kurumi. There's not really any micromanagement. That's why Alucard's a lot like a very easy to manage, you know. He is a good unit, you know. Even though he's been falling off here, but as a support, he's still very good. Of course, his DPS capabilities are not as good as they used to be, because power creep is just it's inevitable. But he's still a very good store unit. Nothing crazy. Of course, Kurumi, he's less than like 40 seconds less than Kurumi, but he is full AoE and he has that 35% amp. So his one was 121 seconds. The last but not least, I have Dio. What I'm going to be utilizing is his time stop from here. So you can see we had 2 seconds of the boss moving, but that's fine. And I have a 10% SPA start on him with Blitz rate, and that allows him to get 5-second SPA on his full AoE, which is the main part. And as you can see, we're utilizing the slow and the stun. You can use slow and freeze if you want. It's pretty much the same thing. But we're going to be alternating between slow and stun. And what's nice is when you have Blitz and 10% SPA, of course he's at a perfect 5 SPA. And you can pretty much just cycle between slow and stun, and it's always gonna work. It always work pretty perfectly. And if you throw in the time stops as well, you can also get like a lot of time stops in. And if you compare Dio to Kurumi, Dio does have like a way better stalling time compared to Kurumi, and if you factor in that Dio is full AoE as well, that's a big bonus as well. Oh yeah, if you're wondering what the familiar I have on him is, I just give him a burb just so he has a bit of extra range. So it's not really an AV familiar, like a lot of visits that I did give to Kurumi. So there's still room to, like, of course, increase his damage, but it's not really much. But yeah, as you can see, as long as you utilize the time stops pretty well, and of course utilizing the slow and stun, you can get a lot of, like, a lot of stall in this boss. And since it is perfect uptime, I kind of messed up here. So let's just say I lost like 2 seconds there because there was no stun. And then I time stop here. I realized I messed up like probably like another 2 seconds. So we'll add in 4 seconds to the time if you want. So I switch back as soon as I can slow it. And then I go to the stun. And then yeah, just keep alternating between the two. And yeah, for this boss, we were able to get 4 time stops on the boss. And of course, if we did extend the path and we used like a longer path, it would have been like 5 time stops, which is a lot of extra time, you know. But yeah, the overall time we did stall the boss for was 2 minutes and 36 seconds, which is crazy. That's like 28 seconds more than Kurumi and way more than Alucard. But yeah, you guys can make up your mind on who is the better stalling unit. It's quite frustrating that Kurumi did get nerfed, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, Loki, this is one that I wasn't gonna test, but Ansforia, Mr. Tillis Maker was like, Loki, just check out Luffy. And yeah, here we are, we're checking Luffy out. I did test him with Alucard and it wasn't really that crazy, but with 6 rares, that's where it goes crazy. So just imagine the 6 rares as like 6 other unit slots that you have in your team. And of course, if you're playing with a full team, you have like way more units, you have more consistent stuff. What's nice about, of course, these guys applying debuffs, even though they're applying a 30% slow, you got Luffy constantly repulsing the enemy or the boss. And what's nice about these 6 units, because of Luffy's Joy passive, they can apply any soft debuff. So they can apply Slumber, which is basically stunning the enemies, that's one. They can apply Infinite Spin, which, as you guys do know, it basically just like locks the enemy in. You can see right here, it happened slightly, but it got repulsed. If it does happen again, I'll showcase to you what it means. Like I'll show you, like I'll tell you when to look at screen. So just keep focus here. I think it happens like right here. You see, it like alters the movement, the enemy's movement slightly, like moving them slightly back. It's like the bridge between confusion and repulse, keeping them in the same spot and they're just spinning basically. So I think it happens a few times within this like test, and you will see it happen like here. You see that's a very good showcase of infinite spin. Like right here, you see that's like a good like 3 seconds, bro. That's how OP these soft debuffs are. You can get infinite spin and slumber. Those two are giving you great crowd control because slumber is of course stunning them, and infinite spin is doing what you guys just saw it do. And then you also got the boss repulse from Luffy, which is crazy. And then of course the 30% slow, even though it's 30% slow, is crazy. So if you factor in, yeah, if I used another unit alongside Luffy, who gives a 50% slow, you guys can imagine how much longer this could be. So yeah, it's crazy how well this just theoretically 2 units do. This is purely because of Luffy. So yeah, he's such a crazy unit. This is why he's just clear right now. But of course, he has his own drawbacks. But yeah, he's such a good unit. But pretty much, I'll put the total time that he did stall this boss for, and I'll put it on screen. He did stall it for like, I think 2 minutes and 54 seconds, which is crazy, which I did not expect. That's a lot more than Dio. That's a lot more than Kurumi. That's a lot more than all of them, you know? It's so crazy, but that's pretty much it for this part of the video. I'll give my closing thoughts after this part is wrapped up, and I'll tell you what I think about all the units.